Everyone has their story of their first time and exactly how that happened. Well, I'm here to tell you mine. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Jay Marie. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Girl Talk with Jay Marie. And yes, y'all, it's Girl Talk, but a wise man is listening. And today's episode, honey, it is Girl Talk Story Time with Jay Marie. I am super excited to share this story about my first time, which is also kind of like my first and my first time. Like I had two first times, and I'll explain that later. But first, I want to say thank you so much to all the subscribers, all the listeners. I appreciate you. I love you so much. I want to send a special shout out to Ireland. Y'all are deep on my iTunes page. I just saw all the analytics. I am so grateful for every listener there. We nationwide. Not nationwide. No, we are worldwide. Sorry, I went to a public school. Anyways, thank you. And then please y'all comment, like, share. I'd love to hear about your first time. At least give me some little cliff notes. You ain't got to tell me too much, but like I'm nosy. I like hearing stuff. And I don't mind telling my business, so there ain't gonna be no shame over here. Cause if you gonna hear it out of my mouth, whether you meet me in person or whether you come to a stand-up night, cause I'm gonna tell you on stage or I'm gonna tell you on this show. I have no shame, and y'all need to learn exactly what y'all kids are doing when y'all out of town. All y'all think your kids is innocent, and that's great. But you know what? They be getting it in sometimes. I'm trying to tell you. And so for me, I got two first time stories. Because technically, listen what happened. So there was this really, really, really cute guy that I used to think was so fine when I was in high school. And we're gonna, as you already know, during story time with Jay Marie, I alter the names a little bit so that I cover and protect all of us, minus myself. We're gonna call him Eric. So Eric and I were really good friends. Like we were cool too. Like back in the day, like when I was in high school, we used to call each other hoes and pimps. And like I was his pimp. I know it sounds crazy to talk about this kind of stuff, but that's what we were doing. And it was funny. It was fun. We were kids. We were having fun. And it was a good way for us to flirt with each other. So I'm like, hey, oh, you got my money? Okay. Yeah, I don't want to hear that part. So anyhow, Eric was one of my top hoes, as I would call him, and he was so fine. He was really cute. We both did the same sports, and in this time, he also had a sister who was low key kind of like my homegirl. I know y'all looking at me crazy. Don't judge me, judge your moms. So me and Eric and I, we were very cool for a long time. So it wasn't like no trickiness about this. I always thought he was fine. I mean, I had a boyfriend, so technically I wasn't supposed to be talking to Eric. But I mean, when y'all know from the last episode, I was accidentally in player situations, even though I really wasn't trying to be a player at the time. But it was my introduction. I should have known I was gonna have struggles with promiscuity because I was practicing being a thought back in the day. Who would have known what it would have elevated to later in life? Anyways, Eric and I were really good friends, and Eric's parents and his sister were on their way out of town for some reason. And we are at school, and he's like, hey, yo, you want to come through? Mind you, I don't know how we got in the conversation. I told you I don't remember every little thing like that. I just know that he asked me, and I was like, me? I mean, like, I never was thinking he would be like, trying to hit or nothing. Because he used to call me sexy and stuff, which at that time, I never looked at myself as being sexy. I actually hated that word. And I don't understand why kids be calling kids sexy. We were kids. But then again, there was a daycare in our high school, which that's a whole nother story for another day. So people was having sex. I just wasn't having sex. I was like a kid. I liked being a kid until Eric asked me to come over. Because then I wasn't a kid no more. But what's so crazy about it is I'm like, okay, so what do I do? Eric is asking me to come to his house. And I'm like, well, I guess, let me go see what he's talking about. Now, mind you, I do not expect for Eric and I to go to home place. I just was like, I don't know what's about to happen. Mind you, I kind of had a boyfriend. And I didn't want to get caught because they all knew each other. Shoot. And I go to the house and we were first it was just like watching TV, talking, ha ha ha. And then Eric, because he was grown on the inside, I mean, I was a child. These dudes was advanced. So he like massages me or whatever. And they say, you know, we like first base, second base, you know, kissing, blah, 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 blah. And then we end up going to his room. Now, I ain't gonna get all detailed because this is still a kid's story. And even though I'm grown, that was still kid stuff happening. It was definitely like a movie scene because he was my friend, so he was really nice. We were joking around, like it wasn't no super serious, which I'm super happy. My first time wasn't like no weird situation where you gotta be like, oh my god, like it wasn't like that. And he was so gentle and kind and respectful, even though he was trying to get my draws, I guess, in a way that ain't exactly respectful, but it was for what it was. The dads don't like that. So anyhow, he was gentle and kind about it. But when we started, you know, like doing it, I'm such a 15-year-old saying doing it. When we started doing it, oh my God, y'all. This is what I want y'all to do. Stop telling lies. Like, tell people the truth about what really happens. Tell these kids, and maybe they won't be trying to do it without permission, without being married. Because on a side note, I really do promote like marital relations. I feel like you should wait till you get married. I know I didn't do it, duh. That's why we're talking about this. But I'm going to hopefully pray that my children will do it, because you just go through so much if you start having sex, in my opinion, too soon, early, whatever. That's in the story for another day, because it is a whole nother topic and it is deep, and I am right. We're not gonna argue about that. So back to me and Eric. I almost said his real name. Me and Eric are in his room now. Oh my God, y'all, my heart beating like a mud. And I'm like, oh Jesus, like not Jesus. But I was like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I have no idea what I'm about to do. Like, I don't understand what I'm about to do. Thankfully, he was responsible. So I wasn't a teenage parent in that moment. And he had protection and stuff. But he wouldn't have been able to become a teenage parent at that time, because we started doing it, y'all. And I was like, oh my God. Now, this is what she was saying on the wood. Oh, no, it hurt. For real. Like, it hurt. And I was like, oh my God, this hurts. And I was trying to like play it off and be cool. But then I was like, no, this hurts. And so I ended up telling him, I was like, oh my God, I can't do it. I gave this man blue balls that day. And he still was my friend after that. So I felt really, really bad, because I didn't know what blue balls were in the moment. As I become an adult, I'm like, dang, that night he left with blue balls. I left him with blue balls. And we didn't stay that far away from each other. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he came to pick me up. Or I probably took a car I wasn't supposed to take. Who knows? At the end of the day, I made him stop in the middle. But this is what happened. Why I tell y'all I had 2 first times. Because when I made him stop, he had already popped the cherry, y'all. And I didn't realize that's what it was. So this whole time, I am no longer Virgin Jennifer. I am officially like, you know, whatever they call it. Like, you in Thotville. You starting your journey to Thotville. And I was like, oh my God. So I felt bad because I messed his bedroom up, but like his bed up, but he didn't care because he was my friend. That's the other good thing about it, is it was like not awkward like that. He gave me some shorts to put on. He helped me feel comfortable. Like, I was so grateful that it was him in a way, because we just was good. Like, it was probably the best first time experience you could have that hurt still, but it also wasn't awkward. And after that, this is when I should have known I had some promises for me later on in life, because he cooked for me. He actually made us a full dinner. He made like fried chicken and macaroni and cheese. And I don't even eat fried chicken and macaroni and cheese for real no more. But that's how I did. And I told her that he did a good job. He threw that in the kitchen. And I was like, oh my God. So like he cooked and everything. And it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm in love with him now. I just wasn't. And that should have told me then that I had problems. Because even my first I was, and he was fine. Like I still didn't care. I was just like, okay, cool. I'm still in love with the thug that I love, who I'll tell y'all about next, Robert. Y'all already know that situation. Last time I talked about it. Well, here's part 2. Because I just wasn't doing right by him. Now that I think about it, I did quite a few things that were scandalous. And Eric never said nothing, which was the other great thing. Well, maybe he did later as once we became adults, because I'm almost positive it wasn't me that said something. But Robert found out later in life that I lost it to him. And I can't remember if I told or if Eric might have said something, because I used to smoke weed then too, y'all. So I can't keep up. Maybe I did tell myself I was high or something. But like that was back in the day. I've changed. And so fast forward to my first time. It's a quick and easy answer. Me and Robert, right? Now mind you, kids are kids, okay? We are not supposed to be doing it anyway. Especially me, because I really liked being a kid. And then I start being the guy. And, you know, I used to think a hoe was somebody who did it to more than 2 people. That was my story. I was sticking to it. And I done hit my second person right here. 7 months later. I don't know. It might have been 7 months. Might have been 5. Might have been a year. Who knows? But when Robert and I actually had our quote-unquote first time, where he thought it was my first time, but I knew damn good and well it wasn't. It wasn't his first time for sure. He was another advanced dude. I think we was in like a closet. Don't judge me, okay? Judge your mom. Thank you. Because we didn't have nowhere else to do it. We were kids. We were in the closet. In somebody's house. And I'm just leave it like that. I should have known I was going to be a thought doing stuff like this. Man, I started off wrong. Anyways, that's why I say just wait till you get married before you have sex. Tell your kids. So anyhow. Robert, obviously being more advanced, he recognized there was no evidence of virginity. And I was like, I didn't know that was some way he was going to be able to tell. So it still didn't feel good to me. It wasn't feeling good. I was just like doing it because he was my boyfriend at the time. And he brought it up. It was just like, why would we did it? I never did pop your cherry. I was like, you did. He like, what? No, I didn't. I know what it's like. I was like, oh. I was like, I don't know. That's weird. So all them years we were together, I just kept acting like it was a strange situation till he eventually just straight up called me out and told me. That's why I can't remember if I got mad and told him first, or I don't remember that part, or he heard it in the streets that Eric was actually really my first person. Oh my God. I feel bad. And Robert, I still apologize. Oh my God, I've done some crazy things to him now that I think about it. Ooh, Lord help her. So anyhow, I got busted and I never let that down for him. He never let it go. He always talked about how I had already lost my little special innocence before I met him. And, before I let him do it. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Like, at the end of the day, it's like a movie scene. I always compare stuff to movies. If y'all ever listen to this, y'all already know that. And Eric was my friend. It was comfortable. It was safe. We had the house to ourselves. And it was like a high school movie. And, you know, and then from there, I just been beating men away from me all this time. No, I'm kidding, but not really. That's why I just keep telling you, talk to your kids, but also watch your damn kids. Don't be trusting what they tell you they doing. Trying to tell you from experience. I was a kid's kid. I did not mind being innocent. But the one little shot I got at going to the guy I thought was fine as firecrackers, I did it, and then I made him stop. And I gave him his first or second or third or 10th case of blue balls. And I learned about my first case of blue balls. And I actually feel bad. I wonder if he really got him that night. Anyways, neither here nor there. That's the story of my 2 first times. So I mean, you gotta tell me a little something. I done told you all of mine. So please, did you wait till you got married? Did you mess up and do it with somebody too soon? Do you wish you could take it back? I don't necessarily wish I could take mine back. I just be like, I just learn from my mistakes about everything I do wrong. I think that's probably how I always live my life. I don't really learn a lot from too many other people because I'm usually the one learning the lesson on my own. But if you can learn a lesson from somebody else, learn it from me. And I'm telling you right now, your kids is having sex. No, but for real, you need to watch your kids. If you don't want them to smash you, you better make sure you talk to them about protection. You better make sure you tell them, you better be scared in these streets. And I just think that the connections and emotional issues that happen when people be having sex with a person and they're not emotionally mature enough to do that, it gets tricky. It didn't get tricky for me. I don't know what's wrong with my cold heart. But like, I didn't get like sprung off of my person or sprung off of, obviously, Eric. I didn't care like that. That was my friend, so we was good. And my boyfriend was even like, he was still my friend, and I wasn't like sprung on him to where I got crazy and stuff. But it's like, yeah, make sure you're mature enough before you start doing stuff like that. For those who are young and listening, no reason to rush into sex. It's just not. I don't care what everybody says. It's not smart to do that. Even though I laugh about all this stuff all the time, just wait. Wait till you get married. Get somebody that love you and pick you forever. Then that way you don't have nothing to compare it to. And that's the reason why I say that the most. Because it's like you just keep getting disappointed. After you get the best, then you be like, okay, looking for the best again. And then next thing you know, you in Thoughtville. Okay? So stop. Stop right now while you ahead. And make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment. I want to hear your stories. I want you to talk about me for telling mine. I don't care. And come back next time, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to Girl Talk with J. Marie. You guys are alive. You have the opportunity to write your own happy ending. So get to writing. Peace.